Rain returned for the final day of Skandia Cowes week, and it was accompanied by wind, and plenty of it. The racers had to deal with the south-southwesterly force 5 to 6 and occasionally force 7 in the fiercest gusts. A small fleet of SB3s valiantly turned out for today's race, although their 7-race series had been concluded yesterday when match racing champion Ian Williams, sailing Team Pindar, won the final race to seal the series. Today, Truestone won the race, in which there are only 2 finishers, as the rest retired in the testing conditions. It was a deciding race in the Etchells fleet today, after Graham Bailey's arbitrator had slipped from its customary place at the head of the fleet in mid-week. Today there were no mistakes. An arbitrator took the race win, ahead of Moonlight in second and Desperate in third. Arbitrator won overall by 2 points, from Moonlight in second and China White in third. Giles Peckham needed a good result in the Darings today to seal his overall victory and see off the challenge from Defender, which has put in a good series this week. Peckham did what was needed, finishing second to Defender today to secure the series. Audax finished third and moved up to 5th overall. Defender finished second overall by 2 points, with Division Bell ending up third. Julia Bailey, wife of Graham, who won the Etchells class, had an equally important final race in the Dragons, where it was a very close run thing indeed. Julia was over at the start and had to return, then chase the fleet for the rest of the race. When we saw them again at Air Canada, Julia's Amy was still clawing away back up the fleet. By the finish, though, Amy had recovered to 4th, which gave her the overall win by just 1 point from Len Jones's Rumours, which finished third today. In third place overall was Tillman Wise's Sea's Toy, which won today's race. The Sonar's final race was another which was to decide the series victor. Duncan Bates and Paul Bowen in Riposte needed to keep Barry Byam's Whatever behind them if they were to take the overall win. Both boats got away from the start well, but Whatever was further out in the tide, and Riposte was further in, where the foul tide was less strong. Out in front of Riposte at this stage was We're Here, and it was We're Here which led around the first mark, with Riposte in close pursuit. Simon Barter's Bertie, Whatever and Jenny were all in touch with the leading pair as the leaders set off down the run to Air Canada. By the second mark, though, Riposte had moved into the lead, ahead of We're Here, with Whatever and Bertie close behind. By the finish, Bertie had moved up into second, ahead of Whatever. Riposte won overall by 3 points from Whatever in second, with Bertie 4 points behind in third. The 16-boat Victory fleet has been dominated this week by John Tremlett and Jeremy Lear's Zinnia, which took the series with a perfect score of 6 wins. Jeff and Sarah Dixon's Zelia took the win today to secure second place overall, ahead of Kim Taylor's Zest, which scored an OCS. A slightly depleted X1 design fleet braved the conditions to fight it out around a 10-mile course. Stuart Jardine's Lone Star has been in fight-back mode since race 1, when he was caught OCS, but a 4th today sealed his class victory. He finished 7 points clear of Steve Lawrence's Catherine, which finished second today. Today's winner was Simon Russell's Swallow, which ended up 5th overall. Third overall was Peter Baines in Calypso, which finished 6th today. The big boats in Black Group had a windy race in the Western Solent, where it gusted to force 7 at times. crews struggled with spinnakers and some had more serious damage as masts tumbled. Premier Flair won Class 2 overall, despite retiring after we saw her at this leeward mark. Antelope won this race and came 3rd overall. Allard was 2nd overall after scoring a 2nd today, while Jolly Joker took 3rd in this race and overall. Class 0 were led off the line by the Mills 68 Allegra, which was the only boat that chose to start at the favoured inner end of the line. An hour or so later, an Allegra was flying downwind, well ahead of the chasing TP52s, although she couldn't save her time over the leading TPs and finished 3rd on handicap and 5th overall. While series winner Ran retired, Charles Dunstone's Rio led the pack of TP52s, and Rio won this race on handicap ahead of Benny Kelly's Panthera. Overall, Ran won impressively, 7 points clear of Rio, with Stuart Robinson's Stay Calm taking 3rd. So it was a testing day to close the last ever Skandia Cowes week. Unfortunately, it wasn't a classic Cowes week to mark the end of an era, although for once no races were lost to too little or too much wind. Even with nearly 1,000 boats on the water, it felt strangely quiet at times, perhaps because the courses tended to send the fleets away from the central Solent much of the time, and the weather deterred many of the usual fleet of charter and spectating boats. Ashore, the poor summer weather meant that numbers in town were down, and perhaps the credit crunch has also had an effect, as many traders reported that business was slow. The final Saturday is always quieter than the rest of the week, and perhaps it's time to review the length of a regatta. It could benefit from being reduced to a 7-day affair, and then the spectacular Friday night fireworks would be a natural final celebration to the week. So, the Skandia era as title sponsor of Cowes Week has come to an end, and we'd like to thank them for being a superb sponsor for so many years. Their financial and marketing support has helped the regatta immensely, and Cowes Week owes them much. It was a shame that, without a new sponsor in the frame, Skandia couldn't go out with a bang, so their era ended without the celebration which was their due. Hopefully a new sponsor will be secured before Cowes Week 2009. Watch our special report on the sponsorship issue to find out more. So it's goodbye from us for this Cowes Week, but don't forget that we cover all the events in Cowes throughout the year, so visit Cowes Online regularly to keep up to date with all the sailing action. See you soon.